Welcome back. We just wrapped up an election week. People in Iowa went to the polls for city and school elections. No election in Illinois. Other states across the country had some high-stakes decisions on the ballot. Democrats won the races for governor in Virginia and New Jersey. Voters in California approved Proposition 50. It authorizes that state to redraw its congressional districts. That could help Democrats gain 5 more seats in Congress. It was California's response to the early redistricting in Texas to give Republicans an advantage. Let's bring back Janita McNulty and Kay Pence. Clearly, it was a good night for Democrats. This was an off-year election, not even the midterms. What are the takeaways do you see from this election as we wind down the year and go into some very heated campaigns for the midterms in 2026? Kay Pence?
One of the things that I think really stands out to me is that the organized people can beat organized money. And there were a lot of money put into the New York race against Mondami. And he did a really good job in organizing his voters. Same thing in California. A lot of money went against the vote no. And I believe that every vote should count, whether you're in a red state or a blue state. I think it's unfortunate that California needed to respond to the actions in Texas and other states. But I think the vote is very important. And, one thing that we look at is, costs were going up in 2024, and that's probably a reason that Trump won, a big reason. And costs are continuing to go up. So it's not surprising that people are struggling, they're being left behind, and I think that shows in the votes.
Kay Pence, do you think Democrats might be overconfident going into the midterms, Kay Pence?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you think Democrats might be now overconfident based on these results going into next year?
I don't think we're overconfident. I think we're learning the lesson that we really need to work for every vote. We look at the special elections in Iowa that we've had so far this year. We've overperformed in every one of them. And, we have to continue doing the work. And I think that, we're seeing it.
Janita McNulty, your takeaways from this election week going into next year's midterms?
The off year really is not going to have a bearing on 2026 and the midterms. It's a whole new ball game. And the Democrats did turn out. I'll give them credit for that. Turnout was great, and that's probably why they won. They were hungry for a win after their defeats in 2024. The Republicans will be the same way in the midterms. We've lost a few now in this off year, so we're going to be raring to go in 2026. And most people did focus on those New Jersey and Virginia and New York. And so they'll be watching how those new leaders run New York City, and that will have a bearing on the midterms as well, as they watch what this new type of leadership does in the next year. The economy definitely will be a factor in 2026, as will turnout. That's always very important. But the Republicans have some great candidates, and we're ready to go for 2026.
Do you think the Republicans have to change their strategy at all for next year, Janita?
We just need to work harder, and we will. It's always humbling to lose a few races, but there were no shock waves that went out from losing Virginia and New Jersey and New York. They're very bluish states, so that's not a huge win for the Democrats. I mean, they did win, so congratulations to them, but it wasn't totally unexpected. So the Republicans will continue doing what we do, and I don't believe you can buy an election in Iowa. All the money in the world is not going to determine who wins in Iowa. Yes, it helps, but I don't think you can buy votes in Iowa.
Just getting started going into next year. Janita McNulty, Kay Pence, thank you both for the conversation. Both of you be safe. That brings us to our question of the week. What do you think are the takeaways from this week's election results across the country? Send your answer by email to fortherecord@whbf.com or respond to this post on Facebook at the Local 4 News WHBF TV page or on my page.